Hello Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. I'm happy to have you all. Please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind. Take away only what resonates for you and release the rest. Please do trust your own intuition above all else because you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right, Cancer babes, let's set the intention to get Cancer out there. Some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right, let's do it for Cancer. All right, so let's do a short message. What might be coming in the coming couple weeks for eclipse season? What's the main message that wants to come out and be seen or heard right in a row? All right, so King of Swords. Let's see. So someone's taking accountability, or someone's taking leadership, or someone's taking authority. Someone is wanting to say something after a period of wait or discussion, or it's like something has finally been finalized and it's going to be announced. That might be something going on in your personal life. That might be a communication. I feel like for a lot of you, it might be a communication coming into you, especially in terms of negotiations, possibly work-related, career-related. It could be romantic, potentially with an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, I almost feel like a message is being sent out too. So this could even be relayed to you via text. Like there's an incoming and I see it as this bird who's returned. That makes me think of like some song lyric, but I can't quite. And Your Bird Can Sing by the Beatles. I'm hearing a little bit of that, but I don't know how that relates. I'm just going to drop that in there if it's meaningful for one or two of you. It could be something with an Aquarius or a Scorpio. Or a Virgo, a Pisces. There's a couple signs coming through, but this is something that it's almost like you're anticipating it coming back. So maybe you reached out and someone is reaching back out to you. You know, maybe you asked for something from your boss, from a coworker, and they had to think about it and get back to you. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting here, and it very likely impacts your finances, you know, probably in a good way. There could be discussion or negotiations of flight or travel for some of you. And then with the moon to the 9 of Wands. This is a weird 9 of Wands. Hold on. It's like you're letting something pass or you're letting something come through, but you're not totally on board with it, or you're having a little bit, I don't know if it's fears, doubts, insecurities, but this feels to me like you're letting someone back into your life, but they're on thin ice. Or you guys may have a touchy relationship. And so it's like proceed with caution. It's like, I don't know if this is the proper way of putting it, but you're giving them a short leash. Like you're really keeping your eye on it. There isn't like this, yeah, welcome back. I'm so excited to see you. And I'm not even sure that's the same message here coming in. This might be a different thing, but I don't know. With the moon card, that can sometimes indicate fears, what's going on in the subconscious. And with this, it's like we're letting the beast through. We're letting this person pass, you know. We're letting them into our network or into our territory. But it's like they got a bad attitude, or they might be on the defensive because they know they've messed up, or they're trying to get back into your good graces. You do seem to be allowing it, though. It's not like you're trying to block it or force it out, but you're hesitantly letting it in or begrudgingly letting it in. You know, maybe if it's a team member at work, maybe you have no choice but to work with this person. But there is a little, I don't know if hostility is the right word, but there's a little bit of like, I'm going to keep an eye on this. You know, I think you have a big heart and you're willing to give people the benefit of the doubt and second chances and that type of thing. But yeah, it's like, again, like a tight leash or keeping a real close eye. You're watching over this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe this is something to do with the child in your life. And with the King of Swords, though, he's like reaching out for his sword. It's almost like you're ready to fight for something if you need to. And especially if you've recently kind of had this revelation or epiphany about value and self-worth and needing to be a good advocate for yourself and knowing what you want, what you like, and what you don't. It's like you're very quick to advocate or to speak up for yourself. You're very quick to point out the thing that isn't working, if before maybe you felt like you had to tiptoe around it. And And yeah, for some of you, there could have been a small argument or a fight here with this person. I do see you still working with them, but it's like you're approaching it a little bit more cautiously. Because here's the thing I can tell you, and I think you already know this with the moon coming in. You may have been put in a very difficult position where somebody was reactive and not even necessarily in response to you. It's like this person is probably dealing with a lot in their personal life and their social life and their work life. And you may have kind of been the victim of their nastiness. Maybe this is your husband or your wife or something like that. With that, it's not that you are giving them a taste of their own medicine and equally reacting in sort of the nasty way that they did. I think with the moon, you're coming at it with compassion and, everybody deserves love. Everybody is fighting a battle we know nothing about. So with that, you are allowing them back in, but I don't think you're taking on the responsibility to mother them and be like, oh, are you okay? It's like, because I don't know, it's like they kind of showed their true colors and you were like, really, of all the people, you're going to treat me that way? So it's interesting. Maybe this has to do with a family dynamic too, right? The eclipse season is going to highlight your 4th and 10th house. So something to do with work dynamics or family dynamics. And again, kind of a need to strike out on your own, just in terms of advocating for yourself. And I don't know if it's saying the thing that nobody wants to say, or in some ways, it has to do with putting this person in their place, but I don't mean that in again, taste of their own medicine. It's like addressing the situation that it's fraught with tension. It's a very sensitive topic, but I think you're looking at that as, if we actually address it, we can heal from here. Like, it's an opportunity to heal, but there might be a little bit of uncomfortable energy by sort of addressing what the source or the point of agitation is here. You might be a mediator right now. Maybe it's between, again, different groups of people in your life. You may be serving as the mediator and trying to approach this with fairness. But also the King of Swords has a strong Saturn, and that's a strong sense of ethics and morals and what is right and what is wrong, the code of conduct, the rules, what is allowed and what is not. So it's like, I think you're trying to be open-minded and true to your Cancerian energy. There's a lot of heartfelt emotions and empathy and compassion, but there's also a sense of, hey, like, you crossed a line with me, so we have to talk about that. But again, it doesn't mean I'm going to be mean to you or hold it against you or be cruel to you. Like, I'm letting you in, but this person is very, very defensive. What is going on with this person? Oh my goodness, are they defensive? And I mean, here's the thing, like, the eclipses are happening in Aries and Libra, so that does have a lot to do with the self and the other. And specifically, Aries is ruled by Mars, so that is the planet of war and conflict, right? Sharp edges, right? It's rough, it's pointy, it's sharp. It's quite literally the sword. That's like Mars energy. Versus Libra, it's like, hey, let's get on the same team. Let's work together. Partnership, union. Let's make it comfortable again. Libra loves to be comfortable. Yeah, there's your Queen of Cups. It's like you have endless resources of love and kindness and compassion, and so you are maybe having to dig a little bit deeper to access that reservoir with this person, because there's a part of you that may have felt like this person deserves to be shut off from that. And here's the thing, Cancer, you have to use your own discretion. You know the details behind this storyline. I don't. That being said, I think maybe there was a period where, I don't know, I'm not getting High Priestess, but with the moon, it's like maybe there was a period of shadow, or there was a period of silence, or there was a period of people being really in their fields and not being able to work together or compromise or get on the same team. I think you, being a cardinal sign, Cancer, are probably going to be the initiator of, hey, let's break bread again. Although I don't know if you're initiating it per se, but I think you are initiating the mending and the healing of it. Because this person metaphorically may come knocking at your door. With this 9 of Wands, that's what I'm getting. It's like quite literally someone crossed a boundary and you put up your guard, and this person comes back to be like, it's symbolically like, hey, can we talk? You're like, yeah, I guess. Sure, what's up? Like pretending that you aren't like the scorned lover. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. Because you're not acting like that. I think you both are keeping each other's at arm's length or at arm's distance just to kind of feel out the vibe. I think that's actually very symbolic. Like you're trying to check out this person's vibe and where they're at, but are you going to let them back in? I think a lot of you are. Not that you ever have to, but I think a lot of you are going to hear them out. And again, it's like there's a conversation that involves bravery here. And a need to address maybe what transpired and how you didn't feel respected. And here's the thing, even though this person is presenting as a little bit, there's like a crotchetiness, there's like a grumpiness or moodiness or whatever, though that could be you too. Defensive, that's the best word. This person is coming through as defensive, even when they come back to work with you, or again, it could be colleagues, whatever. Just know they're carrying moon energy, so they feel incredibly guilty and burdened by this. This is not like a, I don't give a flying you know what, and like, it's not that energy. It's like this person has trouble expressing themselves anyway, and when they do, it may come out in ways that are not always healthy or a true reflection of who they are and what they're feeling or what they're thinking and what they want. It was reactive energy. And here's the thing, no one's perfect, right? You know this. That's where your compassion is coming through. It's like everybody F's up. Everybody makes mistakes, and I'm not going to hold that against you because you were having a bad day or a bad week or whatever. That being said, we do need to address what happened, and then we're going to move on from it, and it's cool. Like, it's Queen of Cups is like, I'm still going to embrace you. All right, here we go. That's sort of what's coming up for eclipse season. Oh, and there's the sun. So the sun to the moon. I mean, what a great polarity for eclipse season, right? Especially I think the Aries and Libra polarity is it's again, a relationship in the self, but quite literally the sun opposing the moon. The sun in Aries is going to be opposing the moon in Libra. So it's like two people that are in opposition. It's like they're going to have to come together and work at it. But again, we have to shine light on what went on in order to actually heal from it and understand what happened. But to me, this says we're going to reset the energy, and like, it's going to be lighter. It's going to be more fun. It's going to be more playful. If we did go through some heavy turbulence here, hashtag Pisces season, right? We're moving into the fire. Like, we're quite really going from the water to the fire, where it doesn't have to be so heavy and burdensome and feelings of guilt. That's very Piscean energy too. Now it's like, okay, we got to pick ourselves up and we're going to go for it, and we're going to get back on track. And that's very Aries energy. It's like, it's time to start up again. It's time to go, and it's time to lead. All right. So that's the first message that wants to come out for Cancer. What else? So resolution is what I would call that, like a resolution breakthrough. People getting on the same page. Yeah, anticipate a discussion that leads to healing. And to be honest, I think you both have feelings of guilt regarding that. That's a word that's coming out really strongly in that reading. Feelings of guilt. All right, let's see. For Cancer. What other messages want to come through? So the past, you have some conflicts. In the present, you have the Emperor. And in the future potential, King of Wands. Interesting. I did a reading the other day. In fact, I think it was Scorpio's reading, where it's like we go from the Emperor to the King of Wands. So I'm going to relay a similar message. In fact, you may want to check out that reading. It would have been from the week prior. But it's like we're going from this place of war, again, hot-headed fire sign energy, including you, Cancer, because you're one or both of these people, right? And so presently we're in Aries energy, which again, eclipse season, North Node is in Aries. It's this very independent, standing firm in your ground, like lone wolf type mentality. Like, I can do this on my own. I'm going to break off. I'm going to branch off. I'm going to set myself free. I'm going to speed away and never look back. That's a more kind of immature version of the Emperor, because ultimately the Emperor learns sort of his opposition or his rejection or his instincts to go at it alone aren't always correct. And so over time, he's learned that sometimes teamwork and embracing partnership actually is the way to go. But with that, we have to sort of swallow our pride sometimes, or really look at our issues regarding our own ego or our own fear. That's a very, I associate Mars with fear sometimes. And so with that, if you're being asked like future oriented to embrace your King of Wands, that's Leo energy, right? The sun and all the planets are involved. So there's still strong elements of leadership here. There's strong elements of passion, fiery, fun, motivated energy, moving forward, action oriented, goal oriented. Maybe there's part of this that can be very independent, but in the future, you're also being asked to embrace a more inclusive dynamic, a team dynamic. Leaders, educators, mentors, something like that. And I mean, with both of these, it's very much empowered energy, stepping into your power. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, there is a similar message here of conflict or drama happening, but also there might be just a general need or a situation where you have no choice, especially a work dynamic or even a family dynamic where it's like everybody's got to roll up their sleeves and pitch in. And it might be easier to just branch off and be like, well, I'm going to do it alone, or I don't want to work with these people. I'm not really sure you have a choice. Some of you might, if it's a work dynamic or family dynamic, that's a little bit different. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Leo energy, it's about embracing the group dynamic and shining your light and leading the way, being an inspiration to others, demonstrating or teaching others by being your authentic self, leaning into your own self-expression. But there's also, Leo is a sign very much associated with entertainers, and it can be lighthearted and silly, but I think it can be work hard, play hard. And maybe that's what this is. We have to remember to have a sense of humor about what we're doing. And also we have to be generous in terms of generous of spirit is what I'm hearing. Leo's very generous, right? It shines its light for other planets to receive that warmth, right? So that's important. It's people learn from you. So don't deny them the privilege of that. And you might be feeling like you want to break away because something isn't going your way, or that maybe it's just I'm too exhausted. There's too much drama here. It's I don't want to do this anymore. I think you are being asked to kind of go into that big boss energy. It's that determination. I am invincible. I'm going to do this. Really, it's we're going to do this together. We're going to make this work. But with that, it's fire and fire. So it can be feisty. It can be combustible, right? So there's certain aspects of this where you have to err with caution. But I also think that you guys help to illuminate each other. Recognizing skills and talents in the other person or the other people that you're hey, this person's really good at that. Let's put them on this aspect of the job or the project. It's maybe if you are leading, you have two very strong cards of leadership. Maybe you're being asked to delegate or to organize or to arrange the crowd, arrange the people, arrange the pieces, right? It doesn't have to be people, but something very inspired, possibly something even creative here. So what is supporting Cancer at this time? What is supporting Cancer? Whoa. All right. So the Queen of Pentacles. And then the Seven of Pentacles. I typically like the Queen of Pentacles, but someone's trying to hand her a pentacle and they're a snake. Now, do we like the snake or do we not? I haven't quite decided yet, and I don't think you have either with the Seven of Pentacles. It's do we trust this person? Do we want to work with them? Guys, this is the same message. This is all right, you're reaching out, you want to work with me, you want to be on my team, okay, cool, I'm going to, I'm not going to be the dictator and be no, you're fired. I'm all right, cool, yeah, we'll bring you on board, it's kind of let's see what you got, you're going to let them demonstrate whatever, but you're also keeping a very close eye on it. You're this, I don't know, it's this person may be involved in the drama, or there's just this may have been the same storyline where they trampled over a boundary earlier, or they broke your trust. And so you're letting them back in cautiously, but it's I got eyes on you. This feels very much like watching the child in the corner of the room trying to dip his hand in the cookie jar. And you're I see you. I see you over there. Don't get me wrong. It's a cookie. I'm not going to yell at you, but I see what you're doing. It's that, fire sign energy can be a little bit immature too. So I don't know in what context that makes sense to you, but because this is coming through and what supports you, it's you have a pulse on this person. You're very psychic, Cancer. You can kind of see behind people's motivations and intentions sometimes, for the most part. I think that can get clouded sometimes in romance. This feels more work related. So yeah, this is just keep an eye on things. There may or may not be a snake in the grass. There may have been a person who is trying to change their ways too. So again, it's that I think you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, but it does warrant a little bit of extra attention and a little bit of keeping an eye on it. Keeping an eye on it would be a good approach to you. I don't do fear-based readings. That's not what this is about. But and again, the message goes both ways. This person knows that you're watching them too. They're not blind to that. They know that their performance is being monitored by you, and so I think for the most part they're trying to do good by you though too. So what qualities? Advice on how to grow. What qualities are needed for Cancer at this time? Yeah, it's I think, remember to be silly, remember to have fun, be open to shifting and changing goalposts, be open to this thing going in maybe a different direction than you saw coming, because watch your resistance to things that are new or different. There's a need to embrace something that's different or foreign, because it actually could be setting you up for like a wild ride or a wild journey that's very bountiful and successful and abundant. There could be opportunities to travel. There could be a Sagittarius who's going to help support you in some capacity. Or a Sagittarius riding in, a fire sign riding in, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. I do think they're coming in with a lot of passion, with a lot of good ideas, with a lot of fun, with, again, more lighthearted mentality. But it's kind of like I'm almost wanting to say you got to let them lead the way a little bit. You got to let this person show you something that maybe you wouldn't intrinsically go to or instinctively go in that direction, but it might be worth pursuing. Something about being rerouted or redirected, you just hear them out. Be open to that, because it actually could be a game changer. And I mean, it is a Sagittarius card, which is ruled by Jupiter, which is like abundance, right? It's about blessings and good luck, and there is some theme of children here, but I don't know if it's literally children or just like childlike wonderment, like anything is possible, and like what if we did do, like, you know what I mean, like that sort of thing. There might be a Capricorn that supports you. You might be put in some sort of higher paying position at work that is supporting you as well. What is known here? What are the facts? What is the reality? What is known here for Cancer? What is known? The Hangman. Yeah, not all has been revealed yet. There's conversations going on in the background that you're not privy to. And this almost in a sense, and the thing is, you know this though, so that's not really a concern. It's like, you know that, maybe things are shifting on the career front, and it's like the fate rests in the hands of other people to a certain extent. And so that message we got first of like, there's negotiations going back and forth, and eventually you're going to be brought in on the final decision, or maybe you're going to be brought into the discussion. But right now, it's like it doesn't involve you just yet. For some of you, that's also symbolic of your spirit guides trying to like work things out in your favor. It's like they're rearranging the characters or the facts or the scenario, and so you're being asked to be patient and do your best while you're in that period of wait. Take advantage of the rest and the repose if you can, but also do your best to see it as an advantageous position. Hangman is quite literally inverted so that he can see things from a different perspective. So enjoy the pause, enjoy the wait, enjoy the delay. It's a great time to meditate. It's a great time to feel creatively inspired and do something that it taps into your, wealth, your well of emotions. I do think that whatever the drama or chaos or the person that you're keeping a close eye on, I think the more you get to know them, you start to understand them better and see them in a different way, or see them in a different light. I'm going to say you may have misjudged them based on like the surface level interactions or the initial confrontation that you had. I think you get to know this person in a more intimate way, and you start to understand where they're coming from. And it's helpful and it's healing. Again, that's that Piscean energy of I'm going to come at this person in this situation with compassion rather than judgment. What is unknown? What is in the shadows? What is hidden? What is unknown here? The Nine of Swords. Yes, so I do think that the people involved here are going through a lot more than you realize. Yeah, again, this quite literally the idea of judgment and starting to see someone through new eyes. I think you have a lot of compassion for what this person has been through, because they may share with you a more intimate story from the past where you start to see why this person would have acted or reacted in the way that they did. Aw, this is like heavy and sad, but also kind of cute. It's like this person knocks down their own cups. This person doesn't always have a healthy self-esteem, or this person has trouble practicing self-love. And you wouldn't know it to look at them per se, because they may present very differently. You might be dealing with someone with strong fire in their chart, where they have this kind of like, I'm hearing the word magnanimous. I don't think that's not the word I'm trying to get at. Magnanimous. What am I trying to say? Magnetic. I think I'm trying to say magnetic. they have this glow about them. They have this light. They have what you view as like this confidence, and life is so easy and it's so wonderful being me. And like for some of you, it's like you either judged them and thought that about them, or there's just a misinterpretation, but it's like their sense of confidence or cockiness, it actually comes from a place of having issues with self-worth and self-esteem, and so they puff themselves up. But it's like you start to put a balloon in that, or I'm sorry, you start to put a pin in that balloon and it deflates a little bit, because you guys are actually able to come together and break bread and have, like, again, authentic conversations where, you know, with Hangman energy, maybe people are a little bit vulnerable. But I think maybe you both start to see each other in a new way, in a new light. Yeah, there's like a little bit of self-sabotaging energy here, and I think there's a desire to... It's like come together and play and break bread, and like, can't we have fun the way we used to? For some of you, that might make sense. You know, maybe this has to do with your dating life. I don't know. A lot of it feels work related to me. But yeah, it feels like a heavy energy. But what's interesting about this Five of Cups is like only one cup has spilled. So this says to me something has been blown way out of proportion. Like a little bit of feelings were hurt, a little bit of feelings were agitated, but like it's not like 3 cups have fallen over and only 2 remain. Like we only lost 1. So whatever has been quote unquote lost here, it's minimal. And that's what you don't see. So if you are going through something that is giving you a lot of anxiety or agitated feelings, like this is very mendable. It's like we're almost at the end of the cycle of strife or struggle. So we may have to revisit it and again have some sort of conversation that brings light to what happened. But ultimately, it's like you guys are going to recover from this. That's what I see. Something about a cat might be significant here. You do have Leo energy here too, quite a bit. So all right, anyway, moving on. Bottom of the deck, 8 of Wands. Yeah, messages going back and forth. Again, something to do with travel, possibly, or education. All right, for Cancer. Believe. You are being asked to fully believe in yourself and your dreams. It's time for that idea that's lived inside your heart to be brought into the world so that others can benefit from it. Believe that you can bring it to life and that you will do exactly that. So yeah, faith, that's important too when you have kind of Sagittarius energy coming through, and Pisces for that matter, both Jupiter ruled signs. Something about these crows, the back and forth, the yin and yang, the yes, the no, it's like the inner critic fighting against itself. The desire to grow and expand, like the Jupiter versus the Saturn, which is about constraints and like is that responsible? Is that, you know, practical, blah, blah, blah. It's like for you, Cancer, there seems to be this inner conflict too, not just externalized conflict. Maybe it's about yourself. Maybe it's about your relationship. Maybe it's about your role in the world. Something about that feels very, like Gemini, like inner Gemini. It's like the part of you that has duality. And I mean, for my Cancer risings, Gemini rules your 12th house, which is sometimes the house of what you don't see, but also it's sometimes the house of like self-sabotaging energy. So like, where are you talking yourself out of a really good idea? Possibly to do with the idea of perfectionism or judgment or I don't know, something about that. Like denying yourself some opportunity, especially if it didn't go the way you had thought the first time you rolled it out or presented it. Again, not all is lost here. It's like what we've lost is minimal. I keep wanting to say that. All right, last but not least, a love oracle card for Cancer for those who are interested. Anything that we need to hear or see for Cancer in the arena of love or romance. Ooh, you got 2. All right, so you have Protection, card 15, associated with Scorpio, and you have 25, Attraction, associated with Leo, and the Sun energy, really. So, ooh, Cancer, that looks good to me. Protection and Attraction. All right, love it. Guys, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me today. Please like the video, show me some love, and leave a positive comment. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post readings. If you want more content from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook as The Intuitive Teacup, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Cancer.